Hey guys, this is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing good today. So today we are gonna be making decadent and moist chocolate cake. It is so rich, so airy and intensely chocolatey. It is like a chocolate lover's dream. It has got rich chocolate frosting and it is so good. Both the cake as well as the frosting are very easy to make and it makes for a stunning birthday cake. So without any further ado, let's get started with the video. I'm going to be starting with my dry ingredients. In a large mixing bowl, add 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, 1½ teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and mix it thoroughly with the whisk, making sure that there are no lumps of cocoa powder. And now we are going to be combining our wet ingredients. That's 2 eggs, 1 cup of buttermilk, half a cup of light olive oil, 1 cup of warm but not hot coffee and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This sounds like a lot of coffee, but you cannot taste the coffee in the finished cake. It will amplify the flavors of the chocolate. Now pour your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients and whisk it just until they come together. Your batter will still look lumpy, but the finished batter is somewhat very thin, but it will rise really well. I have preheated my oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit and then I will butter 2 8-inch cake pans on the sides and at the bottom, and then I will line it with the parchment paper. And now I will be dusting both of my buttered pans with the cocoa powder. Divide the batter evenly between your 2 prepared cake pans. Make sure you have the same amount of batter in each cake pan. That way they will rise evenly and perfectly. Now bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes or until the toothpick inserted comes out clean. Once they are out of the oven, let them rest for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, the cake pans should be cool enough to handle. Run a knife or a spatula around the edges to loosen them from the pan. Invert the cakes onto the wire rack and gently pull back the parchment paper. It should come out easily. Now let the cakes rest until they are completely cooled at room temperature before applying frosting. Once the cakes have reached the room temperature, now we are going to make the frosting. Into the mixing bowl, I'm going to add in around 75 grams of unsalted room temperature butter and I'm just going to beat it till it is smooth. Now next I'm going to be adding in around 1½ cup of cream cheese and then I will beat them together on medium-high speed. The mixture should be fluffy and creamy. When you are beating, make sure to scrape the sides of the bowl so that everything will be mixed evenly. Now beat it again till the mixture is fluffy and creamy and smooth before adding in the other ingredients. Now I will need around 1½ cup of powdered sugar and 2/3 cups of cocoa powder. I will be adding them little by little in batches and I will be beating them till everything is thoroughly mixed and combined. Also make sure to scrape the sides of the ball to get rid of any pockets. Then I'm going to be adding my remaining powdered sugar and cocoa powder and beat it further, and I'll be adding around 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and beat it. While I was doing it, I also added around a 1/4 cup of ground walnuts because my kids insisted me to do so as they love walnuts, and doing so will also give little bit crunchiness to my frosting. This step is optional. If you want, you can do this, otherwise you can totally skip adding walnuts to your frosting. Now my frosting is finally ready and it is time to frost the cakes. By now my cakes have totally cooled, so I'm going to trim the edges of the cakes to make it even when I'm layering them. I'm going to be putting some frosting into the piping bag. In this way, the frosting of the cake will be more easier. I have placed a cake board on my cake turntable and also I have lined it with some paper towel to prevent it from getting messy. So I'm just going to pipe some frosting onto the cake board. This will help to keep my cake glued to the cake board. Now I'm going to be placing the first layer of the cake with the flat side down. And then I'm going to spread the top with a generous 1/3 amount of the chocolate frosting And I love the thick layer of frosting in the middle of the cake. So I'm going to spread it now with the help of this spatula. And now I'm going to be adding the second layer of the cake with the flat side up, so you can have the even top. So I'm going to be adding most of the remaining frosting on top of the cake, and I'm going to spread it around. Apply the last of the frosting at the sides of the cake and spread it evenly with the help of the spatula. With the help of the bent scraper, I'm going to smoothen out the edges of the cake. And the final touches for my cake. And now, using the back of the spatula, I'm going to create swirls and waves on the top and the sides of the cake. We are not going for perfection in decorating this cake, as what we want is more of a rustic look for this chocolate cake. And now I'm going to pull out all the paper towels which I had placed underneath the cake. So just look at this, there is no mess on my cake turntable because of these paper towels, and it's looking very pretty. I've allowed my cake to rest in the fridge for the total of 4 hours. This will help the frosting to set. And now I'll be topping it with some walnuts, because it has also got some walnut flavor in the frosting, as I had added the walnut powder before, and adding of the walnut on top will also make it look attractive. Finally, I'm going to cut right into this, and I like to clean my knife with a paper towel between slices to keep the cake pretty. Just look at those layers, so moist and decadent. So friends, let me enjoy my cake, and I will see you directly into my next video. Till then, bye bye.